Hello Cancer friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Cancer December 2021 Astrology Must-Knows Horoscope Forecast. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com. That is the interface for all the free goodies I make for you each month to help you make the most of the starry possibilities, and you don't want to miss anything I work hard to make you. Also, if you would love to earn money as an astrologer, I can teach you how to do that. You can see my school, lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com, my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course, which you can also use just to help yourself and your friends if you're not interested in earning money. But I also have free courses at that site, including one for creating financial abundance and ones for health and wellness. So you can check out the free courses there. This is for you if Cancer is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Cancer placements that you have. I know some of my crew likes to go in very deep, and I love to help accommodate that. And if you are a late degree Cancer, so if your birthday is from around July 11th through the rest of the sign, or if your degrees are between 20 and 29 degrees, then I suggest that you additionally watch my Leo report, because late degree Cancers have a more complex read, and the Cancer report and the Leo report will each have pieces for you. Speaking of knowing what degrees you have, I'm always telling you to please run a birth chart online. And this way you can use the information that I give you when I drill down into details of the degrees and certain other things like that. Now, as a perk of being in my free email community, I am going to be able to let you run free birth charts. So definitely sign up at anniehelpsyou.com and I'll give you that news of how to access that at the end of November. We've got a power-packed month. Top 5 must-knows that we're going to drill down into are the end of the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle. That has been a doozy for Cancer people, so you'll be happy to see that end. The next big must-know is Venus is going into retrograde, and Venus rules love and relationships and romance and finances and money and income and design projects and beauty and self-esteem. And so we want to know all about this love spell that you're going to be under, and this money spell, and these rose-colored glasses you're going to have on with this retrograde. So we'll talk about lots of details for that. Then we want to talk about the fact that the planets, the personal planets, are moving through Scorpio and Sagittarius and Capricorn, and what does that mean for Cancer placements, and what areas of life are brought up into the forefront for you at this time. We'll talk about the Saturn square Uranus, the third and final of 2021, major clash in the sky of this freedom versus feeling enslaved, and this old versus new, and all of these crazy clashes that have been going on. We'll speak to that. Then we will talk about Jupiter moving into Pisces, and this is especially exciting for Cancer placements because Jupiter is moving into a water sign, and that is going to be a much better placement than it was in Aquarius for you. So we definitely have another reason to celebrate there for you. Actually, there are quite a lot of reasons to celebrate, so we're going to get into all of them. The first big must-know is that we're going to go in order here. I'm going to give you the dates of these 5 events. And if you want to have a write-up of all of the notable dates of the month, what the aspects are, the sweet and salty dates, what you can expect from them, you'll also get that when you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. So we're just going to hit a few highlights here. December 4th, solar eclipse, 12 degrees of Sagittarius. This is the end of the Sagittarius Gemini eclipse cycle that started around March 2020 when the world shut down. All of the things relating to education from home, from, in the building, from work, working from home, travel, social interactions, blocks to travel, issues with all of those, mobility and free flow. All of those were partly supported by this storyline of the Gemini Sagittarius eclipse cycle. So that is going to be coming to some kind of conclusion, and the next new chapters are going to open up. So a big wrapping up of those energies there. As I mentioned before, this has not been in a favorable aspect for all of these eclipses have not been in a favorable aspect for Cancer placements. So you've likely been feeling that. Okay, so first point to celebrate is that it's the end of that cycle, and the one that started now, which started in November, is the Taurus-Scorpio eclipse cycle, and all of those eclipses are going to make sweet angles to your placements over the next couple of years. You can hear more about that and how that November eclipse might still be affecting you here in December in my November report, because we're not focusing on that one in this report, but that is something to celebrate because that eclipse cycle is much more friendly for your placement. So that's a big must know. So the Sagittarius eclipse plus the personal planets moving through Sagittarius are all bringing a very dizzying, busy time. We think it's busy because it's the end of the year and because it's holiday time, but it's really busy because the Sagittarius energies make it so. If Sag energies happened not around holiday time and not at the end of the year, it would still be as crazy because it's the nature of the energy that's really making it that way. So you're going to be running around like a crazy person. If you are doing holiday shopping, that might be better supported, especially in the first half of November, although you might get some smoking deals on things in December, so you can look out for those things. But there is a lot of favor to shopping in the first half or so of November. All right, so Sagittarius placements make this awkward angle for you, which means you're going to have pressure applied. I always like to describe this as Cancer being a pot of water and Sagittarius energy being a fire coming from under the pot and heating it up, for better and worse. You'll get spurred to action. You'll get motivated. Your ambitions might be higher. Your physical energy might be greater. And your readiness to do something, to take action, or to make a plan, or to start a discussion that will eventually bring action or a plan is all going to happen. Sometimes that's a little uncomfortable, right? Think a lobster in a pot, right? Not that you're the lobster, but you're the crab. I guess we could say a crab in a pot. The crab in the pot's not going to be super comfortable, right? Wants to jump out. So this is what you're going to feel. You're going to feel hot, hot, hot. Gotta do something. And that could be a little uncomfortable. But we don't have to fear these awkward angles because they create friction, and friction creates productivity and change. So if you've been wanting change, you're definitely getting change. And this is, this is going to be very apparent at this time. Something else that's a must know about the eclipse and also the Sag energies in general is that they accentuate your 6th house. So big changes to your health, to your physical body, to your daily routine it is coming. So life as you know it is likely to change, and the way that your schedule was is very likely to change, and that can be a very positive thing. Also, if there's something with your health that's pending, it could erupt in a big showing of, hey, you have this problem, or you could come to a great solution for healing something that has been going on. This is also the house of pets and animals. So if you're looking for your forever friend, you might find them at this time, or if you're wanting to work more with animals in any way, this could come up in a wonderful way. Okay, so the next thing to know is that we still have a little bit more time of Mars in Scorpio, and this is a positive thing for Cancer placements because it's making that beautiful trine when water is speaking the same language as your water. So having support through other people is very likely at this time, whether it's your company that you work for, whether it's your parents, whether it's your spouse or friends or family. There's a good chance that things that you need or things that you want could come to you through somebody else. So that is very much supported at this time. It's good for all Cancer placements, but those of you in the later sector, so like around July 15th through the rest of the sign, you have some extra special juji there because Mars is at a late degree right now, and it will make an exact trine with those placements for you. And all of this is really focused on your children and creativity sector. So creative babies or real babies or other people's kids or bucket list projects or fun. You might find that you're merging with people in wonderful ways on these topics. One other quick hit I want to talk about with the eclipses. I've already explained how you might see some of these manifest, but I want to give you some more resources to look into more layers of how you might experience this. I have an eclipse series on my homepage. So if you go to Annie Botticelli, my YouTube homepage, scroll down to the eclipse series. The ones that are relevant for Cancer at this time are eclipses in Sagittarius, eclipses in Virgo or 6th house, because that's the house it's in. And if you are a July-born Cancer, I also suggest you watch my eclipses in Leo or the 5th house, because in the Placidus chart, the energy is going to shunt over there as well. All right, so that will help to cover you to really, really get these eclipses and how you can best use the energies. All right, so now let's talk about Venus retrograde and the fact that it's moving through Capricorn and the fact that it's opposing your sign, and we've got a lot of details we need to get into here. So we alluded to before that Venus rules love and beauty and money and design and self-esteem. And so when it goes offline, a lot of things from the past that are unresolved will come up again. And this is even more likely for Cancer placements because these energies are in your 7th house, which is relationship house, and that is one of the places Venus rules. And it's also in opposition for you, okay? So now the opposition energy really brings this push-pull, making you feel like you're being pulled in 2 directions and like you might snap. So every Cancer has a chance to feel that, but again, it's actually the July born that are going to feel that the most. Now, just because I'm mentioning July born a lot, it doesn't mean that everything else that I'm saying isn't relevant for the June born and the early degrees, because everything in the whole report is for all of you, unless I make a special note to differentiate out if there's something different, somewhere different in the spectrum. Every once in a while, I'll have someone say, hey, you talked about this a lot. What about me? Well, what about you is the whole report, unless I specify something being, a little bit different or more for somebody else. All right, so when Venus is in retrograde, we have goggles on that either have rose-colored glasses where we're seeing things as better or different or warped in the money, love, and beauty areas. So because of that, we want to avoid making long-term or not easily fixable decisions in those areas, if at all possible. If those changes come to you and it's out of your control, don't worry about it. It's just if you're the one instigating or trying to activate something. It's important to know that you're going to want to spruce things up. You're going to want to get new clothes. You're going to want it. Some people are going to want to do something radical with their physical appearance or something like that. This isn't the best time for radical things like that. It's the best time for experimenting in ways that are fixable, like putting washout color to your hair instead of dyeing all of your hair, a color that you can't fix if you don't like it. It's not the time to do tattoos where you can't fix them. It's a time to do henna tattoos where you practice saying, hey, how would it be to have this here? How would I like it? And kind of try it on in a way that will go away or that you can fix. And the same thing for design projects. If you want to redo your whole house, you can start getting fresh ideas and experimenting a little bit, paint a wall, get a new throw rug. That's all perfect, and that's very well indicated because it's low stakes and it's easily fixable. But if it's something that is going to stretch you financially, to like buying a house at way above market value, or taking all your money and investing it in one thing instead of being diversified, those kind of things might be things you want to wait till the energies are a little bit more clear. But I have created a massive amount of Venus retrograde resources for you. If you're searching for Annie Botticelli, Venus retrograde, you'll find them all. Definitely watch my YouTube video. It's super comprehensive. I think it's still the most viewed Venus retrograde video ever, anywhere. So it's very, 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 very helpful to get to know this. You can pick up pieces in my book, Planetology, because I talk a lot about the retrogrades there. And you can look at my Venus retrograde through the signs and houses series at anniehelpsyou.com. So you specifically would look for Venus in Capricorn or the 10th house. That would be relevant for you. You would look for Venus in retrograde in Libra or the 7th house. That's going to be relevant for you. And if you are a July born, I also suggest that you watch Venus retrograde in Virgo or the 6th house, because that's going to be relevant for you. Okay. So Venus retrograde in Capricorn is making you reconsider everything about your work or bringing opportunities from the past. This can bring back money or accolades or recognition from work you did in the past. This can help something come to you that you thought was going to come through. It can come through in a big way. Any work you did in the past can show up now with your money and your finances. Also, topics involving your father or parental figures, could include your mom too, and money are very likely going to come up for better and worse. They might give you some money, or the consciousness that you have because of the upbringing that you had might be glaring at you very, very fiercely. Okay, so these things are going to come up, but that's okay. You can heal them, and that is the point of it. Some people think that or get to feel disempowered by the transits throwing them around. Specifically Cancers, because y'all are so moony, right? You're so affected by the moon, and emotionally everything really, you feel everything very deeply, and it can be easy to feel like, wow, what what next, right? But really everything happens for our good. And the capacity to see that truth might be easier when your nervous system and your adrenals are healed. Okay, so look into, I'm not a doctor, but I have noticed that deep empaths, and a lot of cancers tend to be super empathic, super sensitive to other people's energies. The empaths that I've worked with, and this is coming from the perspective of working with thousands of people one-on-one for decades, are people whose adrenal systems and nervous systems are whacked out. If you find that you can't sleep when it's a full or new moon, this is a sign that your rhythms are off, and supplementation for taking care of those systems might actually help to fortify you and strengthen you so that you don't sway so much in the wind or be blown over by, tsunamis of difficult transits. And that's what the ongoing storyline for Cancer is about, is letting that emotional nature support you and be good for you, and to not be debilitated by your sensitivities. That is the beautiful magical opportunities that you have as a Cancer. Okay, so past relationship things are going to come up for better and worse. You might have support or rekindling of fun things that you did with your partner in the past, or a romantic partner could come back from the past, or issues that you didn't have resolved are going to come up. But again, you can solve them. Okay, so we talked about all that. Now the next thing, big must know, is that on December 24th, we have the official Saturn-Uranus square that we had February 14th and then June 14th. We're going to have it be strong again from August through November of 2022. But this is the last clash of this year. And so these storylines of old versus new, tradition versus innovation, rebelling versus authority, the definitions of rebelling and authority, the definition of authority, feeling enslaved, feeling free, our subjective experience of those states of being and storylines are going to be coming up. There is going to be an urge to do hasty things. Those might not necessarily be well supported if in your haste you are not cognizant of other people's emotions or the long-term outcomes of your actions. So just kind of tread lightly here and try to remove the charge, emotional charge, off of the situation before you go to take action on it. It is always so surprising to me to think about how little we learn as children of our emotional self-care and our emotional well-being. Most people are taught either they can just emote all the time, regardless of how it affects people because they're expressing themselves, or that they shouldn't emote at all because the people around them can't take any of it. And really, probably the happy medium is somewhere in between, which is, yes, we have to be present with our feelings, and yes, we have to be careful of doing it in a way that's healthy for us and for others around us. So if your way of expressing or venting results in you taking it, and then all of a sudden biting, and then having negative effects from that biting, then you might consider trying to get your emotions out through writing exercises or through EFT tapping, or taking the charge off of those emotions where you're working with them, but you're not using the interactions with others to be the way that you work with them. All right? There's an amazing book called Marriage of Spirit by Leslie Temple Thurston that has writing exercises in the second section that are just one of my go-tos. They've been for so many years that if I don't do it to 100%, and if I did, my life would be so much easier, but I'd say a good percentage of the time, and when things are flowing the best, is when I work out the emotional charges on the paper. And then if a discussion has to happen with somebody, the discussion isn't about your emotions. The discussion is about the topic at hand. You see? And this is a very important opportunity for Cancer placements. The retrograde is bringing it up. The Saturn-Uranus clash is bringing it up. And you have a great opportunity to be emotionally empowered at this time. Also, some Cancers tend to self-sabotage instead of dealing with their emotions. And so rather than take it out on somebody else, they don't, and they take it out on themselves. And this is a very sad consequence of not learning how to address these. So just again, the more you can put your emotions into healthy things, meaning you're dealing with them, then it can stop that pattern of self-sabotage. All right, so our last big must-know, December 28th through May 11th, we've got Jupiter in Pisces. And Jupiter in Pisces is going to make trines for all of the Cancer placements. And a Jupiter trine is the best trine because it's the most benefic outer planet. So enhancements to your intuition, improvements in how you communicate with your body and yourself and others, boost your creativity, harmony, solving of problems, anything you need help with basically can be supported by this Jupiter transit, and you will all get goodies from this during that time. So what does it mean when Jupiter is in Pisces? So for Pisces, this is accentuating, or for Cancer, this Pisces placement is accentuating the 9th house. That means this is a time for you to start writing, okay? Now this kind of goes hand in hand with what I was saying before. If you can get your feelings out through writing, a lot of Cancers I know are already journalers, then your writing might turn into something else, like a blog, like a book, like writing courses. You stepping into your role as a teacher and a helper of others is a very amazing way that Jupiter expanding this section can be. You also might find an urge to learn a language or go back to a language you had started learning. Your desire for connecting with people who have an international background or international travel is definitely going to be expanded. Your optimism and your positive viewpoints are very likely to be more in the forefront. And I know sometimes Cancers can get jaded because they're so sensitive and have such good intentions, and then if they're not treated well, then they get disappointed and sad and, feel negatively about the possibilities. But this is a time when Jupiter can actually enhance your optimism because it's moving through its own house. So not only do you have these opportunities from Jupiter's transit period, it's happiest in its own house. So you've got that going for you. So if you've wanted to do anything with international business or speaking or writing or publishing, this is an amazing time for you to work with all of those things, and the opportunities will be plentiful, and you all will have your Jupiter kisses between the end of December and May. Okay, so I have given you a massive amount of information and must-knows to help you make the most of this month and to know what could be coming so that you can best prepare for it. If you want to have even more information, go to anniehelpsyou.com. Sign up for my free email newsletter. On the anniehelpsyou.com site, you'll see the interface for all the free things that I do for you each month, and there are so many. When you sign up for my free email newsletter, you get Shine, my 28-day virtual coaching package. Talk about inner work. This is an inner work powerhouse that I give you for free as a member of my email community. Also, new perk starting towards the end of November, as a member of my email community, you will also get access to run a free birth chart and see what placements and degrees you have so that you can use my videos that I make for you, these in-depth videos, in even greater ways. I have so many other resources, including books, my book Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe. You can find it actually on bookshelves in all the major booksellers in the United States and lots of other countries too. And if it's not there on the shelf when you walk in, you can definitely order it. It's on Amazon. It's pretty much everywhere. And it's a guidebook to help you align with the natural rhythms of the universe. If you'd like to be an astrologer as your profession, or just casually earn some money from your love of astrology, or just help yourself and your friends and family, you will love my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. If you think I go into lots of details, crazy amount of details in my free offerings, you should see what I give you in that course. So you can check that out at lumelife.com, L-U-M-E life.com. I also have some free courses on wellness and abundance at that site, which you can tap into. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.